Okay, we're gonna paint our fall tier tray kit. The first thing you want to do is start by separating all your pieces out into sections by color. So that's what I've done here. You will use lots of colors on your leaves and a few colors on your squirrel. We're gonna go ahead and get started, and we're gonna do kind of the simple stuff first. So I'm gonna use this really pretty blue for the excuse me, for the background, and this bow. I do want to show right off the bat so that you guys are aware, this bow is obviously optional. You can use it as a bow tie or in up here as like a bow in her hair if you would like. So it's just a cute little accessory. All right, for your paint pouches, you can tear them down here. They have a slit. If I was you, I would just cut a little slit in them, like a little corner off, really small corner off. And the reason that I do it like that is because it won't dry out. I have had these stay good for weeks after I've cut them open if they're just that tiny slit, versus if you obviously tear the whole thing off the bottom, it's gonna dry out pretty quick on you. So and before you squeeze out your paint, go ahead and just knead it a little bit to make sure it's all nice and mixed up. It hasn't separated too much in travel. That's normal, but just knead it a little bit before you open it. So dip one of your wedges in your paint and dip and dab, try to get it kind of absorbed into that tip. When you dab, you shouldn't have peaks. You should have just a flat coat of paint. And then you want to apply, you can apply in a dabbing motion. The main thing you want to remember is that you never want to pull your wedge over your edge this way, because you're going to get like a goopy lip. So to keep your project nice and neat and to have like a nice uniform edge of paint on your pieces, you want to either swipe over the edge or use a dip and dab. Okay. All your paints are going to dry super fast, so that's good. If you want to come back, you have little pots of white and black. If you wanted to come back and add some accents in across these scored lines with your paintbrush, you certainly could do that. Okay, now this backdrop, I'm going to actually do this light brown color. So again, I'm just going to snip the tip of my pouch, squirt out a little bit of paint, and I'm actually, since I know I'm not going to use this color anymore, at least I don't think I'm going to, I'm going to trim off the edge, and now I have a nice clean, ready to go wedge. So much of these wedges get wasted when we just use them for one color, so I like to just snip off the tip that I use and keep using it when I can. Okay, so for the squirrel, what we're going to do is we'll paint it with this light color first, and then in this darker brown, and with my paintbrush, I am going to do his outline. So just long strokes. Does not have to be perfect. Okay. All right, so that is what I'm going to start with, and then when I paint my acorns, I'm going to use this color on, excuse me, on the bottom of them, and I'm going to add some like accent colors to him with this color. So I'm going to use this on the top part up here, and then I'm going to do black on his eyes. So I'm going to do this color up here on him, and then on the bottom part of his tail, and we'll see if I like it from there. And then I'm probably going to go back in with this and then dark brown and just add like some little hair accents. You'll see. Okay, moving on. I'm going to just get as much of this paint out of this brush as I can for now. You can use a baby wipe or your wet wipe or whatever to clean that eventually, but okay, so these two are going to be this mustard color. And again, with lettering, you want to be sure that you use that dabbing motion so you get nice clean letters and clean edges. Okay, that, and then this one. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little quick second coat just all right, so your Get Cozy goes on your circle. So just peel that off and line it up how you'd like it. There you go. So that's that. All done with that. Okay. All right, let me show you how to do a leaf, because you're going to do a few of those. There's the big one that goes on here. So we're going to do that one so that you can see kind of the detail in the process. And then we'll do an acorn and you guys will be good to go. That's your whole kit. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do my little bow, this blue color. Okay. All right. So your leaves are going to have red, orange, and your yellow. So again, snip off a little edge of this, and the stem you're going to do in that dark brown that we outlined the squirrel in. So I want to have all, I think at this point we've opened all of our colors. Okay, so since my brown is already in my paintbrush, I'm just gonna do the stem real quick. So your stem is going to be the dark brown. All right, and then starting from the inside, you're going to do yellow and then orange and then red. So I'm going to do a little bit of an ombre, and if you want to use the watered down technique like we did on the last kit, you can. That'll help you blend your colors a little bit. So I am going kind of along the veins in yellow, and then what I want to do is use the other end of my wedge, because my orange is going to be pretty thin, so is my red. So I'm going to dip this edge in here, and I'm gonna go along the edge of the yellow. If it looks a little sloppy, it is okay. We're gonna blend it all in. So just get some on there, and you're gonna go back through. It's gonna keep kind of drying out as you know, you're gonna use it up, and it's gonna dry out as you go. And that's going to help you work it in. And then I'm going to flip over here, and I'm going to go with my yellow again to kind of blend that. And back to my orange. And you just keep doing it until you're happy with it. And then you're going to use, I'm going to use the other end of my wedge that I cut the end off of and get a little bit of red also on the smaller end. And paint the very tips red. Spot. I want even less than what's coming off here. Come back with my orange and blend that in. Red. And there you go. Okay, and so that's going to go in the center of this, and I'm actually going to, this is going to be orange, so do this real quick. Now flip over your piece, and we're going to peel this backing off. Line it up on your square. Okay, peel the backing off of your leaf here. You're going to want to start at each tip of the leaves. Kind of work your way in. There we go. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of orange in here because I feel like I lost my orange. There's that piece. This is also going to be orange, and I'm just going to put some orange on here and work it from the inside out. You have a little acorn that's going to cover that up, so don't worry too much about getting like your where your words in your acorn are completely covered, because they're going to get covered up. Your fall is rather fragile, so just peel it carefully. Remember to move your hand as you peel, your supporting hand, so that you're not torquing your piece too much. Just keep your hand behind where you're peeling to give it that support. Okay. And then line this up with the score line. Like so. I'm trying to do this up close where you guys can see, but it's a little bit easier when it's down on the table. So, all right, once you've got it lined up, just press that down. It will never go anywhere. Okay, and then to paint our acorns, we're going to do the bottom in this lighter brown color. Where did my light brown sponge go? Is this it? I guess so. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do a swipe on the bottom. Okay. Oh, this is it. I knew I was doing something backwards here. Okay, this is our acorn color. Yeah, that did not look right. Okay. Sorry guys. All right. Let me get a new wedge. Okay. All right, so that's the bottom, and for the top is that darker brown. So I'm working it into my brush, and I want to just kind of do little light strokes so I don't fill in those scored lines. I have hardly any paint on my brush. Yeah, you can tell by how much is coming off. I have very little. So then that's our acorn. And again, peel off the backing, and we're going to place it onto our okay, there we go. Okay, so that's how you paint your acorn. Same thing on this. Use this brown color, just swipe across. And then if you want to do the outline, the full outline, you obviously are welcome to. And then you can, for the bigger ones, there's two, and you can add a third one, the one that came on top of your kit, that like tied it all together. If you want to have a third one, you can do that. So this dark brown is the top. And there you go. Okay, I don't have a little paint pot over here, but let me squirt out some black. Your black is in a tube. You also have some white, just in case you want to add any like highlighting. If you wanted to add some highlighting to this, for example, you would dip this into a little bit of white and get almost all of it off. I mean, like nothing should be coming off on your box practically. And then you're just going to swipe it along the edge if you wanted to do a little highlight. You can do that on any of the pieces. I really like to do that on the edges of things. It gives it a really nice finished look. Okay, so now going back to our little squirrel friend here, I'm going to get a little bit more of this color out and really, really work it into my brush, like kind of a lot. This is definitely leaving stroke marks and lines, and I kind of want that. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to do little like hair lines. Okay, so like that, and then I'm gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna do the top part of his tail, like that. Okay. So I like that. I can't decide if I want his body to be like that or not. I'm going to, just so that you can see what it looks like, I'm going to go ahead and do his body like this, and you can decide if you liked it better. Take one last look before, and so you can decide which way you would like to do that. And oh, let me do, okay, so I wanted to do inside of his little ears. I'm gonna do red real quick here. I'm gonna scoop a little bit of paint onto my brush and just kind of move it around with my paintbrush. I don't want to try to paint this with my paintbrush because it's not detailed enough. It's not small enough. So what I want to do is just get a little bit of paint on the edge of my brush, put it in here, and move that around. If you get outside of the line, I did a little bit on the other side, and if you just take your nail and scrape it out, or you can take something else, a pen or something, and scrape it out. So if you wanted to mix some of your white with your pink and make white with your red and make pink for inside of the ears, that might be even better. Okay, now for his eyes, get all that paint out of your paintbrush. Just doesn't have to be perfect. And again, I'm gonna just do one little corner of my paintbrush, and I'm gonna kind of dab it along his eye line, or her eye line. Mine's a her because I have two girls and they would wonder why I put a bow tie on. Okay. There's one. Kind of use your paint to tidy up your brush, your bristles. Okay, there you go. Okay. You know what, I'm gonna do one little detail touch too on here. Using the other end of my paintbrush, I'm gonna dip into some yellow. I want a lot because I'm gonna do polka dots. So I'm just going to dot, dot, Okay. She is all set. I'm not gonna push that down on there right now because I can't. It has paint on it, but there we go. That's our finished Miss Squirrel. For the garland, you are going to take your string that came around your kit. You can either go through the, I would go through the bottom over the top, and then you're going to want to pull it, you know, to your first position wherever you want that to be before you tighten it, because you're not going to be able to, you can't pull it along the thing, so along the thread. So there you go, that's it. Obviously I would paint your leaves the same kind of ombre that we did this one, but totally up to you. Each has a little bit different shape, so yeah, you can do something a little bit different with each one if you wanted to. I just really love that ombre look that is natural to fall. All right, thanks guys. Happy painting.